news. I have the incredible honor of introducing one of my favorite people, who I am very biased because she represents the area of the state that I grew up in, Fairleigh, Bradford and West Fairleigh. But it is a huge honor to introduce Representative Sarah Copeland Hanzas, who co-chairs the Climate Solutions Caucus. She has been an amazing public servant on these issues for a number of years. In the summer, we have an amazing citizen legislature, but many of them don't stop just when the session ends. 2 years ago, the summer of 2019, there was a road show that many members of the Climate Solutions Caucus, in part led by Sarah, organized across the state, over 20 public events engaging over 2,000 Vermonters, and it really helped spark and advance a lot of conversations that have led to the progress we have seen over the last couple of years. And in appropriate form, she was not here earlier today because the public service does not end for her. She came directly from co-chairing the pension task force meeting. So let's give her a warm welcome, and we're going to hear from her.
Thank you folks for sticking it out here today, and my apologies if the drama of dropping these on the podium blasts the ears of folks who are watching through Zoom. I saw Bob lift his ears out. I think he probably knew that was coming. Thank you all. It has been a busy day for me at the Pension Task Force, and the reality is that nobody's ever going to thank me if we get pensions right, but I'm hoping that someday we will feel like we got this right, and that our children and our grandchildren will thank us for it. It looks to me like you guys have had a really exciting day today. It makes me sad that I wasn't able to be here with all of you, listening to the pitches, hearing the updates from all of the different action teams. I brought some, workout with me, and so I'm going to ask you to just do a little stretching here too. How many of you heard something that made you hopeful for our climate future today? And how many of you heard an update on something that you have been critically supporting or involved in that you think points us in a new and hopeful direction? So this is the right room to be in right now. This is the exciting room with some hope and joy. And I want to just say thank you to Jared and the whole team at EAN, because the process that you all have been following for the past several years of assembling pitches and bringing together smart people like all the folks in this room, and thanks to those of you who are with us virtually, you all are helping us make some really great progress. The action teams have been a wonderful and refreshing addition because it gives us a little more time to dive into some of these really great initiatives. And so thank you to the EAN team for all your great work on this. It really does warm my heart to know that you guys are on the task. So I feel like we are at a critical junction right now, right? We have passed the Global Warming Solutions Act, and so for the first time in the history of our state, we actually have some teeth behind our aspirations. We have the ability to really send the legislature and the administration back to the drawing board if we don't, and say you must do these things. So before we move forward, I just wanted to take a minute here while I have your attention to ask us to reflect a little bit on the past. And so that's why I have these documents. Because what I'm noticing from looking back at the October 2007 report from Governor Douglas's Governor's Commission on Climate Change, some really fascinating proposals, some really no-brainer common sense things that we still haven't accomplished, by the way. But the governor recommended or recognized back then that the time for debate over the realities of global climate change is over. and that the opportunities, if seized, can provide unprecedented economic development opportunity for Vermont. Right? Do we all believe that? Yeah. Okay. That's for you. There's going to be a question after this. Hold on. Commissioner Walk seems to have wandered off, so you can tell him that I gave him credit for the 2018 report from the Climate Action Commission, this report that was presented to Governor Scott. And in part, this report acknowledges that by taking action now, Vermont can build economic growth and be well-positioned, economically competitive in the future. And we are confident that these recommendations can serve as a platform to advance the transformation of our energy system into one that is efficient, clean, resilient, affordable, and accessible to all Vermonters, in particular, the most vulnerable. Absolutely. Amen. Amen to that. Okay, so, did we get where these reports wanted us to go?
No.
Not yet. That's very optimistic. Who's the optimistic? No, we have not gotten where these reports wanted us to go. And the reason I went to all the bother of getting these printed and putting them in binders so that I could bring them before you today was not because I want you to go back and read them, but because I want you to stop and think, why did we miss the mark? In 2007, imagine how different our state and our world would be if in 2007 we had actually stepped up to meet the challenges that we knew were looming in front of us. Question?
I was on that committee.
Excellent, thank you.
I've been on all these committees for the last 50 years, and we refuse to face the fact that the fossil fuel empire controls the policy of this country and has done for 100 years. We refuse to face them down. It costs them over $60 million to drive 130 politicians.
I'm just going to remind us, we have people on Zoom too, and they can't hear us if we're not speaking into mics.
So the point that the gentleman was making, and thank you for making it, is that the fossil fuel industry controls the process, the political process. And yes, that is part of the problem. But I am so glad that Jared brought up the process that we used starting 2 years ago to pass the Global Warming Solutions Act. And that is a process of activating and educating our citizens, our constituents, all the people who live near us, around us, in our small communities in Vermont. If we can activate them, if we can educate them about the components that the different subcommittees are working on right now to inform the climate action plan that will be due in December, if we could talk to them, help them understand it, and ask them to do one simple thing, we can get beyond the stalemate of previous climate action reports. And the only way that we can do that is by educating our neighbors and asking them to call up their elected officials and say, it's time to move. If we had done some of the things that were recommended here in 2007, we would be in a very different place as a state. Our homes would be less costly to heat. Our fuel bills for our Vermont families would be cheaper. Our businesses would be running more efficiently on the clean, renewable energy that we know is the future. We can't stop. And so I really need to challenge all of you to commit to reaching out to your elected officials, myself included. I might have already drunk the Kool-Aid on this one. And ask them to move these ideas forward. So thank you so much for your great work. I can't wait to see the results of the pitches that came forward today. These are all part of what I hope to be closely involved with over the next several years, and thank you.